Welcome to Small Biz Life, episode 115, using Facebook events to grow your business.
Does this sound familiar?
Oh my God, I have so much to do today.
Don't forget to breathe.
But I have almost 400 emails in my inbox and 30 phone calls to make.
Have you looked into getting a virtual assistant yet?
Oh, and I need to schedule all my social media posts.
Did you drink anything today?
I had coffee.
Did you eat today?
Did I mention coffee's a bean?
This is Small Biz Life.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Small Biz Life. We're so happy to have you with us. My name's Kristen Ingram.
And I'm Jeffrey W. Ingram.
And we are a husband and wife team of small business owners who are here to help you cut the crap out of your business so that you can spend more time doing what you love.
Yeah. I am a Facebook event junkie. I would not classify myself as.
No, you don't think so? Well, I'm a CPA.
Mm-hmm. And I'm an IT professional, I guess would be the most technical term for it.
And, you know, what we like to do is kind of help you, you know, in getting rid of the crap, right? Mm-hmm. There's probably a lot of stuff that you're doing, like marketing-wise, that you're not really, maybe you're not getting the traction that you want, right? And so we're trying to do with this episode is kind of help you focus in on using a strategy that's working for a lot of business owners so that maybe you can cut out some other stuff.
And this could be a tactics thing. Who knows? In a year or two, Facebook might tone back how they work. Who knows? But it's something that I joke saying I'm not a Facebook event junkie, but I've been growing more and more. I've been paying more and more attention to them because of one, visibility. I'm starting to see them pop up. And the way they do it, there's an event near you. One of your friends has just signed up for an event. There are a couple different ways that I've seen them pop up. And they've started, especially over the past 6 months, I would say, becoming noticeable to me, even though I wasn't looking for them to be. So I think this is something where Facebook is trying to make these more relevant.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing. And it's like, you know, I think a lot of times we think Facebook events are for things like concerts and fairs. But any event can be a Facebook event. I mean, we use them in our HQ group to keep the members reminded of our monthly call. And we typically put it up at the beginning of the month. This is when the monthly call is going to be. And it will remind them, hey, and we invite them all, which is really easy to do.
If it's part of a group.
If it's part of a group. And then, you know, they get reminders from Facebook, so we don't have to be reminding them all the time that this is coming.
Yep, and we've definitely had better participation within the monthly calls since we've started using them because it helps remind people that, oh, wait, that was tonight, instead of, oh, crap, that was yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it doesn't have to be like a major event in order for you to use it. Facebook events are getting really good visibility, as Jeff said, because, like, I think pretty much every like Thursday, I get something that, like, your friends are going to these events in the area, and you click on it, and it gives you a list of all the events that your friends are interested in going to and stuff that's in your area.
Especially, you know, it's like I've been mentoring for a couple of years now, and I'm always looking for new, especially like low cost, you know, or free events. And, you know, for as much as I pay my taxes out here and they keep saying how wonderful it is, I can't find crap to do. Not that I haven't done already, because it's been the same kid. It's not like I can keep going back to the same, you know, Mark Twain house. You know, how many times can you go there? You know, that's kind of cool.
But it is, well, as a writer, you know, that's something.
But that's more
like,
me. I don't think he cared too much about the Mark Twain house.
Right, exactly. But you know, it's given us a lot of exposure. And like, I've seen events and I'm like, hey, maybe you guys should go to that. So, you know, it's really helping. It's helping people, but it's also helping the event creators. You know, they remind your audience for you.
Which is nice. It takes out that's one piece of crap it takes out, where you don't have to remember to have the email sequence set up for the people going to the event if it's a Facebook event, because that will remind them.
And you can invite people from a page or from a group, which is really nice. So it takes out the extra step of trying to get people to opt into your event, right? Because you can just automatically invite them.
Yep, and it doesn't make them sign up to go. It just makes it visible to them, and then they can decide yes, no, or maybe.
Yep. And if you're an online business or you want to have an online event, you can stream live inside your event. So if you actually want that event page to be the event itself, you can do that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people who are in network marketing are starting to use this strategy in their businesses. That instead of having a home party, they have these online parties and use Facebook
Well, I was going to
Live.
say, that would seem to like be a completely logical thing to do if like you're in that space, because you typically do home parties and stuff like that, and you have 20 people come to your house or you go to their house, and this kind of lets you scale out that idea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a great use. Okay, so let's talk about some ideas for events, because I think there are a lot of opportunities here that you can use. So we kind of want to like help you brainstorm like what you can use these for.
And this is not meant to be comprehensive, just to give you ideas across the spectrum.
So you can use this for a grand opening, or one thing I think a lot of businesses miss out on is have an anniversary event. Hey, we've been open for a year. Huzzah!
Or if you do some like remodeling, you have that grand reopening.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's the thing. It's like, create buzz in your business, right? And people love events. They love celebrating things. So have them celebrate your annual anniversary, a grand opening, a grand reopening. I think those things are important. If you have any special sales, put up a Facebook event for it. If you're going to have a webinar, and I know a lot of us, if you're doing webinars, you're usually using something like Lead Pages or Thrive Themes landing pages. You're using something for people to sign up. But if you use, a Facebook event, people can share that out. And also, if somebody if somebody's planning to attend your event, then that will tell their friends that this person's planning to attend this event.
Yeah.
And it can help you grow your scope. If you have an unboxing event, so let's say there's a new line of products that you are going to carry. Unboxing videos and unboxing events are really popular.
Yeah, I remember this must have been, I think, earlier when we were doing the show. We did the YouTube, and we were looking up what were the most popular types of videos, and unboxing videos on YouTube was. People like watching stuff get opened. If it's for your clients, if it's something that they could buy from you, or something you're going to use to do better stuff for them, people like that.
Or even an unboxing event can be, oh, wow, here are the new planners for next year. Oh, wow, here's my new book that just came in.
Yes.
There's a lot of different ways that you can kind of schedule an unboxing event, to build up buzz for your new book or your new product. This is, I'm starting to see crafters that are finally starting to do this, and this is great. If you're going to be at a craft show, create an event that says you're going to be at that craft show, and have a whole list on your page of all of the craft shows that you're going to be at, and create events for them. That's going to help. It's going to remind people that you're going to be there. And typically I find like craft shows in general, like the whole craft show is really terrible at creating events on Facebook. So I'm seeing a lot of crafters now that if you go to their page, they have a whole calendar of events where they're going to be during the season. That is so smart.
Yeah. And, for the craft fair people, I'm not seeing like those types of craft fairs showing up in Facebook a lot yet.
But I have friends who are exhibiting at them who have created their own events, and I am seeing those.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen the crafters do it, and it's really smart for the crafters. But, for the shows, have an event for your show and actually stream from it, going to all of the booths, introducing the people and showing the wares they have. That might lure people out and increase traffic, and it's going to be a very low cost point for you.
Yeah, because that's one thing I noticed. A lot of the craft shows around here, when you submit, you have to submit pictures of your work. That's a great gallery of stuff to help build buzz for the craft fair. It's like every day leading up to the event, post a picture of that person's work and help promote them.
And you know what? Craft shows, use those photos they give you to do that.
Right, exactly. You already have the photos. They gave them to you. I know it's craft shows seem to be like a dying breed, you know, because I think that people don't know how to promote them well. So that could be a whole business for somebody.
And really, flea markets are kind of the same thing too, right?
Exactly. Let's see.
A trunk show.
Yeah, so typically you see trunk shows, you see them in like the art space. You know, like I know like Webb's does a lot of trunk shows when new things are coming in.
What the heck is a trunk show?
So it's almost like an unboxing event. It's like, hey, we have this new product coming in, or we have a new product line. Sometimes it's like, you know, when they have like those pop-up things at Costco where they don't sell it all the time. They just sell, you know, like the bamboo pillow people are there.
Yeah.
That's a trunk
Or
show.
or the sausage people.
The sausage people, right. So it's kind of one of those things where it could
It's like
either
a mini
be,
show within a different environment.
exactly. Yep. And boutique type stores are giving smaller producers the opportunity to do trunk shows, you know, display their wares and see if there's any interest before the show or before the store actually like buys that product on a full-time basis. If you're going to have special hours, you know, if you're open late for an evening, if you're open on a weekend and you're normally not.
Or, you know, think about this: if you're extending your hours, you're a retail box or a brick and mortar type of institution. Create events for your extended hours. You know, like, you know, to one help make it pop up for people, and try and make it kind of like something's happening. It's more than just we're open longer.
Right. And I know like Costco does this at the holidays. And it's funny because most members don't know about it. I only know about it because I used to work for Costco in college. But make it like a big deal, right? Because I think most people are like, oh, Costco closes really early. Make a big deal out of the fact that you're open later for the holidays. If you have classes, every single class should be scheduled as a Facebook event.
And this is on or offline.
You know, and give, you know, but the thing is you can put information in there about the class. You can put a picture of the project, you know, keep people updated.
Might
the
draw
sign
in
up.
additional people into the class. I wouldn't say that's going to be your a heavy converting thing, but the thing is, it's value added to the customers because if you go to Facebook and click this, it'll just automatically remind you. And people are like, oh, that's awesome.
But you know what's funny? You know what? Like if you go into events that are building traction, the thing that I typically see most of the posts are somebody posting to tag someone else that the event is going on. And so people love to tag other people and stuff they think they're going to like, and they do it in events all the time. So you can actually bring in.
I'm not saying you can't, which is also one of the reasons why they say have tickets for all events, irregardless of whether or not people are paying.
Yeah, absolutely. You should use this for if you are running discussion groups or book signings. You know, if you're going on a book tour for your new book, you should have events set up for all of those.
All the places you're going to be. And hopefully they'll have an event too, but you want to definitely cover it for you because especially if you've done a good job building some audience, you want your Stark Raving fans to be able to have a Stark Raving moment with you.
Absolutely. If you are a vendor at trade shows or if you are, you know, if you're an expert in your personality and you're going to be at conferences, set up events for all those things, you know, that this is where you're going to be. And it's a really good way, you know, to interact with your audience and let them know. And if you're speaking at an event and you bring people into that event, it's more likely they're going to let you speak again next time, or you're going to be able to get other ones.
That they pay next time rather than just one of the free people speaking.
Exactly. So, you know, think about festivals. If you're participating in a festival, if you're doing lectures or speeches, you know, if you're participating in a job fair, let's say that you're hiring, you know, make sure that you have an event set up for that job fair. If you're doing some sort of open house, I think that's a great opportunity. You know, sometimes we get into this rut in our business where, you know, things kind of slow down. You know, it's a great opportunity. Do a holiday preview, or, you know, depending on the type of business that you're in, if, you know, let's say that you're a computer repair shop, right? Or you do computer courses. have an open house before school starts. Because what that'll let you do is that'll let you bring people in, right? Maybe you teach a class, give them information about, how to get their computers cleaned up, and get people excited.
I would say if I was a retail store, I would have an after Christmas party. Invite the public to thank them in for helping you get through. And we'll hopefully have people who show up who've never been to your store before, but it'll be kind of a novelty thing if you're one of the first ones doing it. But there's like free Dunkin' Donuts if you're in the Northeast or something, depending on where else you live. It might
Tim
be
Hortons if you're anywhere else in the country, I think.
And but it just have a low cost amount of free food and free drink for people who come in at a certain time at a certain date. And you do it in that dead period that comes right after Christmas is over and the return week after.
Right. Yeah. And then. And Jeff, when I put this one, he thought that this was not very PC. Think about doing ladies' nights.
Oh, man,
so one event that I think is really cool, Webb's up in Northampton. They're a big yarn shop. We've talked about them a number of times on the show. They do an alternative Super Bowl party where basically if you're not into football and everybody's at your house, you can go to Webb's and knit. And it's a big thing, and it brings lots of people into their store. And you know what those people do when they go in the store? They buy stuff.
You know what a really good time is to have a sale? That day.
But that's the thing. And it's like, it's like you don't even need to have a sale that day because, there are a lot of women who don't watch football, who aren't interested in it and need to get out of their house.
If I did a sale a day like that, it would be less on buying one thing and it'd be more on like, hey, if you spend $10, you get a $5 gift card kind of day or something like that, just as an additional thank you. And it gets them to come back in and buy again.
So there's some ideas for you on how, on what you can use these for. And if you have more ideas, post them in the Facebook group. If you're not a member of the group, go to facebook.com/groups/smallbizlife and, tell us like what you're using them for or what you want to use them for. Because I want to see like more small business owners creating events. Okay. So now that you're kind of like excited about this and you're kind of thinking about like ways that you can eventify your business.
And you're realizing that it's not necessarily going to be really expensive or it's going to have to eat up a lot of time. Some of the events going to take you 15 minutes, a half hour, and then a little bit for the event itself. But if it's at your location where you control it, it's not going to be a lot of work.
Or if it's online.
Yes.
Right? Because these don't have to be like in-person events.
That's where you work, right? Online?
Right. I guess so. But, it doesn't have to be like a physical event either. It can totally be an online event. Okay. So now let's talk about how to make your event stand out. Okay. Because this is kind of one of my pet peeves because events are on our radar now. And I'm finding that people are doing a really crappy job setting up their events. I'll give you an example. I was invited to a fundraiser pretty recently, and it's at a restaurant. It's expensive. It says nothing about food. There's no menu. There are no details. There's no I don't know what
the event
I know who the event is for, and that's it. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to go because I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what's going to happen.
An event should be written like quick, easy copy. Compelling headline, which the job of the headline is to convince them to read what's in the description. And the description says what, when, where, why.
Right. So here's the thing. So the first thing you need is you need a good name. Okay. You need a good name for your event. This is kind of like, like if you're going live, you need a good hook for your video, right? So you need a good name. And I'd recommend that, I'm seeing a lot of people, whenever you create an event, create it through your page. Okay. Because I'm seeing individuals create events for organizations and I don't even know what the organization is. Okay. So create a good name and make sure that the organization is clear, like who is having this event. Write a clear and thorough description. What are people going to get out of this if they go? Are you going to have any food? That's really important to drop. If there's, if it's a live event, is there going to be food? If it's a video event, like a online event, are you going to have, giveaways? Why should people come? It's kind of like selling anything else, right? You've got to compel people to act. Okay. So that's really important. You want to make sure that if it is a physical location, that is a Facebook recognized venue. Okay. And so what that means is that, if you have a store, you want to make sure that your Facebook page lists the venue.
Which your Facebook,
with the address.
Your Facebook page should have the address of a physical business if you're meeting clients there anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's really important because then what that does is that allows people to, touch the address and it will go into maps.
Yep.
You want to have great photos. People want to see, they want to know what to expect. And so, like, let's say that it's, this fundraiser that I guess the organization is really old and they've been doing this fundraiser forever. Post pictures from last year.
Especially if you've had a previous one, that should be simple.
Because that's the thing. It's like, because, when I look at events like that, I'm like, well, is it dressy? Is it casual? Is it going to be a lot of older people or there's some like younger people?
I never asked myself the dressy casual thing.
I always do. I think maybe it's a woman thing.
Okay. I always assume I'm going to go the way I dress unless they're like, oh, it's black tie. And then I probably won't want to go.
But that's the thing. But it's like, you want to make people comfortable. They want, you want to make sure they know what to expect, So using, photos from prior events is very important. Make sure that you have a really nice photo as your cover photo for it.
Optimized to fit into the event cover area.
Yep, absolutely. And don't I think one thing I'm seeing from, the network marketing folks is that sometimes they're creating those cover photos and they want to put so much stuff in it because they think that's the only thing that people are going to look at. And sometimes you're turning people off because it's too busy and the font is too crazy and there's too much stuff. Okay. So you can also have like overload in your cover photo as well. You want to make sure that you've got some, make it be about the photo, right? It doesn't have to be about all the text and the things and the stuff. Okay. All right. Make sure that you use keywords for your tags so that others can find your event. I think a lot of people skip over this part. If you want to organically grow your event, you need to use tags. Just like if you want to organically grow your groups or your pages, you want to make sure that you've got tags so that people can find you. Always let people post on the event wall. This is because, we talked a couple minutes ago about like people coming in and going, ooh, I want to tell my friend. But most of the time when they do that, they don't share it with their friends. They don't like invite their friends. They'll tag them in a comment. Yep. They'll create a post and comment on it. So, when I see that there's a lot of activity on the wall for an event, I'm more likely to go because it shows more interest. So let people become part of the event. Maybe they're going to post their own pictures from last year. I think sometimes people get afraid of this because they're worried that people are going to post negative things.
And they're going to spend a lot of time either deleting or responding to trolls.
Right. And I found that most of the time, even really big events, that draw like 1 million people, don't have that. Maybe there's a couple people.
And it's not going to be as bad as like an ad where it's going to kind of sit there. So if something pops up and you see it, respond to it. I would be less likely to respond to negative comments in ads unless it's a valid criticism that you have an answer to. Like, well, that's, this event is for 4 to 6 year olds and you're 18. I'm sorry you didn't enjoy yourself, but that's why we say it's for 4 to 6 year olds.
And that's why having a clear and thorough description is very important. And we've kind of had that issue, when we're trying, like when you're trying to figure out like if you and your mentee should go to an event, a lot of times you're like, well, that could be cool.
I think you would like that, but then you look and see that
it's like for little kids, or it's for, or it's for people who are much older, and so make sure that, have that, we've talked about Avatar in the last couple episodes. Make sure that you're really clear. Like, are you targeting a certain group? Is this for parents? Is this for kids? Make that clear in your description. Make sure that you have a pinned post. And a pinned post, you can do this in pages, you can do this in groups, you can do this in events. Your pinned post should be something that gets people excited about the event. So maybe it's an announcement, that, hey, we're going to be doing this special thing. Something to get people excited about the event. It could be the description of the event, and that's what you pin.
And I don't know, on pages and groups, I know they do hide in mobile, so keep that in mind as well too. It's probably going to be sort of taking your description and maybe making a little bit slightly altered, more actionable version of that.
Right. And it could just be something to say, hey, listen, we really need your RSVP for this event. Make sure that you set an end time so that people know, what time the event is going to end.
Starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all people put. And you're like, well...
Is this an hour-long event? Is it all-day event? Do I need to be there all day if it's a long event?
Right. Do I have to be there at 10 o'clock? Like... I mean, again, it's all about
clarity.
Right, giving people enough information to make the decision. You're going to want to promote the event outside of Facebook. So I think a lot of people think, it's kind of like your book, right? We talked about your book launch a couple episodes ago.
I'm like, I've just launched that.
Right, because Facebook will take care of it, because Kristen and Jeff said that Facebook is going to share this out all over the place for me. Yay! Okay. You also have to promote your event outside of Facebook. This is why you want to have an email list, put it up on your website.
Go back to that launch video. You're going to have a launch for an event. Depending on what you think you're going to get from it is going to vary on the size and if you have a budget for it. But some of the things, like maybe you have a webinar to build up some excitement for what is going to be in the event. You could do all sorts of things.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, go, if you haven't listened to episode 112, go back and listen to that one. Make sure you schedule your events ahead of time. I think sometimes people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to be at this thing in 2 days. Let me put up an event. As soon as you confirm that you're going to be somewhere, post an event for it, because it's like, one of the things that drives me crazy as a business owner, is that I get invited to a lot of stuff very last minute. And I've talked about schedule before on the show. I'm one of those people that in my business, I typically don't schedule things the week that they're happening. So like if I haven't put this in my calendar by Friday night of the week before, I'm probably not going.
Yep.
And for events, especially if they're evening events, I want more, time than that. So, don't do things at the last minute and then wonder why people don't come.
And remember, the event will remind them. So this isn't like, if you're doing a traditional letter approach, where you send out invitations and with RSVP dates, and then if it's a long time out, you then send a subsequent follow-up to remind them. This will take care of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's one of the great things with this. And then you want to create a sense of urgency, right? Because here's the thing. When people look at an event, they typically look to see how many people are going, right? And so if it shows that there aren't really people, there were a lot of people invited, but people aren't really going, or they're maybe going, incentivize people to RSVP. And you can say, if you RSVP by a certain date, you're going to go into a special drawing. There's going to be, whatever it is.
Even smaller than that, just let them know why, right? There's going to be free food, so I need to have an idea of how much. So if you can let me know, I can get that free food for you when you show up.
Yeah, even things like that totally work.
When the free food runs out, it's out.
Right, exactly. Okay, so incentivize people to RSVP and RSVP early, because that will help you grow your event.
He just threatened his audience.
What? No.
He threatened to cut them off from free food.
Because God forbid we run out of free food. That's like the worst thing for an event. Mm-hmm. You never want to run out of free food.
And you never want any left over. It's the catch-22 of events.
But it's better to have food left over, right, than to not
In
have
reality.
enough food.
In
In
reality,
reality. Yeah. Okay. So we hope that this episode has inspired you to take a look at events. Because this is a strategy that, if implemented well, this could be that one thing that takes your business to the next level.
Yeah, just remember, online, offline, anytime, things go better with events.
I don't even know what that was.
It's a song lyric that was stuck in my head.
Okay. All right.
It didn't quite work, but it worked mentally for me. I was amused.
Sure. And, if you've got any questions about this, as always, hop into our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/smallbizlife, and join the conversation. So thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Daytime, anytime, things go better with rock. This was Small Biz Life.